Welcome to the inaugural episode of the virtual visit to Brunswick Town, Fort Anderson State Historic Site. Today we're going to be talking about St. Philip's Anglican Church. St. Philip's was started in 1754.
In 1758, Arthur Dobbs first arrived at Brunswick and visited the walls of St. Philip's Church. He was discouraged that the church had not been completed, and so he designated the church His Majesty's Chapel for North Carolina, which means that if the King of England ever came to North Carolina, that is where he would have gone to church. Well, the designation worked because by July of 1760, the roof had been completed and a belfry had been installed. Unfortunately, by August, it had been struck by lightning, and in September, a hurricane hit and heavy rains forced the roof to fall. It would be July of 1762 before the new roof would be put back on. And unfortunately, Arthur Dobbs would not live to see the completion of the church. He would die on March 28, 1765, and he would be buried inside the unfinished church. The new governor, William Tryon, pledged 40 guineas. Also, he pledged to supply the glass and the sashes for the windows, and he pledged to supply the doors to complete the church. A broad tile walkway that ran from the western main entrance up to the altar pad, and a similar crosswalk that went from the north to the south entrances. So if you look down on it, it would look like a big crucifix. Now, going to the outside of the church, you'll notice a few features. You'll notice the hole right here, or the divot, as I call it, right here on this corner. And it appears that it was hit by a cannonball during the Civil War. The church was somewhat incorporated into the defenses of Fort Anderson. And so from February 11th to February 19th, 1865, the fort was heavily bombarded by the U.S. Navy. There's a couple of accounts saying that it was struck by cannonballs, but we don't see any evidence of that. But this area right here appears more to be from a shell fragment. The holes that you see in the walls in relationship to the windows and the doors look like they would be the basis for the shutters. But in reality, they're an architectural feature that occurred when the church was being constructed. Nearly every brick structure built up until the mid-19th century were built the same way. You lay your bricks, you get to a certain height, and you can't lean a ladder against the brick wall or it'll collapse. So you remove these walls and you insert logs into them, and you erect a scaffolding, and that's how you can keep building your courses of brick. As a result, they have a real technical name. They're called put log holes. As far as what happened to the church, we know it was burned in 1776. The town was burned twice. The first time was in March by troops led by Captain John Abraham Collett, who was the last British commander of Fort Johnston. When the first British invasion of the South occurred in late February, early March of 76, Collett jumped at the chance to enact revenge against the townspeople. The people did not like Collett, and the feeling was mutual. The people actually referred to him as that pert, audacious little scoundrel. So when he got his chance to attack Brunswick, he led troops into the town. They burned Russellboro, the former governor's house. They burned some of the leading patriot houses, and we believe at that time he burned the church.
Thank you for visiting us today, and please stay tuned for future episodes. And if there's something you'd like for us to focus on, please contact us at brunswick@ncdcr.gov.